Hi everyone, this is Ian with Photocycling, and I'm here to talk about disc golf putters today. I started going through my disc golf bag to prepare it for the upcoming season, and I discovered that I haven't bought putters, specifically magnets. That's what I putt with. I putt with magnets, and I haven't bought some new magnets in quite some time now. So I decided to go out and order some new magnets, and that's what this blue pile you see over here. There's 8 light blues, 4 dark blues, and that's a Z magnet at the top. And I'm going to try those, putting those in the bag, and I'm going to practice with those before the snow melts here. And I figured I would do a putter video and explain as to how someone can come up with so many putters end up with so many putters in their collection, and also the process that it took me to get to the deciding using magnets as my main putter. So to give you an idea, when you start disc golf, you're going to have a lot of options as far as discs. First thing you're going to worry about is the distance driver, because you want your disc to go far. Second thing you're going to worry about is what the heck are in the betweens, the distance driver and the putters, mid-range, fairways, all that good stuff. And then the last thing you're going to worry about is putters. And some people don't forget to realize that putting is a really important part of the game. And this is why I have so many putters, is because I went to my local store and I started picking up the putters and holding them and doing the motion of putting. I looked goofy in the store, but I didn't care. Doing the motion of putting to see how it feels in my hand, whether it would sit well just holding it and eyeing at the basket, whether it would sit well if I do the motion of swinging my arm straight at the basket. And then one of the stores I went to actually had a basket, and they allowed us to actually throw some of the putters they had in the store for demonstration purposes, and they allowed us to throw it at the basket. So if you have a store that does that for you, by all means you should utilize that service. So the bottom line is that every single hole, unless you ace it, you're going to need a putter to putt. Okay, whether it's 5 feet or 45 feet, you're going to need a putter to putt. And how it feels in your hand is a very important part. Just any disc that you use, how it feels in your hand is a very important part. So to give you an idea, that's what I did with all these putters, is that I held it in my hand, and if I don't like the way it feels, if I don't like the way it goes off my hand into the basket, then I will not use it. And that's how I end up with so many discs. So to give you an idea here, let's take a look at this disc, these two discs, up close. Okay? On my right hand I have a dynamic disc Warden. On my left hand I have the magnet that I use all the time. Alright, so I spoke with Dynamic Disc and I asked them, I told them that I was thinking about switching the judges. The only thing is that the judges are a little bit more stable than the magnet. And the reason why I'm even thinking about this is because the classic blend judges feel very soft, just like the magnet, brand new, except it's more durable than the Pro D plastic made by Discraft. And I'm very sad to say that, but that is the truth, and therefore I was thinking about switching it. So what he told me was that the Warden is very similar to the magnet in the higher quality plastic. However, if I put these two next to each other, you can see the profile is much different. Even though on paper they both fly the same, they're supposed to fly the same, the profile is much different if I put them next to each other. Okay? And to explain that, what I'm trying to say is that this is more round and smooth right here. This bottom part of the rim doesn't go all the way in far enough. The angle is not as far angled down. So what that does is it makes the disc sit deeper, the Warden. It's a little bit deeper. So I like to put my finger right underneath this little rim as it rips off my finger into the basket. However, that's not what I get with the Warden. Okay? Also, from the moment where these two plastic parts meet, if I put my hand all the way up, the curvature right here, and you can see my hand at the top, my finger. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing with the magnet now. The edge, you can see it sits all the way farther down. The curvature is much deeper, much more curved, and when I move my finger up, it's flat compared to the Warden. The fact that it's flat at the top like that, that's what I like. and it feels great in my hand when I hold it like this, like so, to prepare to putt. And this is how the worn looks in my hand. You can see it looks really weird because my thumb isn't flat at the top. It's kind of almost domey. Not as domey, but it's a little bit more domey. And you can see the magnet profile is much flatter compared to the worn. Okay? And I'll hold it again with the worn at the top. So, with that, me making my point there, that's what the difference I feel in putters. And that's the number one reason why a lot of these putters did not become my putting putter. Okay? So I'm going to put this back over here. And I'm just going to go through some of the different plastics as to, so you guys can get an idea if you're looking for putters and you don't have the opportunity to go and pick up some putters at the store or whatever. I'll give you an idea so that you do have an idea of what they feel and whatnot, and that way when you go to the store you know what you're looking for. I've talked about the worn. The Pure is the same problem, the same thing as the worn for me. Okay, it's the same. It's almost very similar in rim characteristics. So honestly, it's made by Latitude 64, which also makes dynamic discs. So therefore, that's probably the reason why. So the Pure is very similar. The focus is very domey. And I'll show it right here. It's domey compared to the magnet. And I'll show you the magnet right now. It's flat, and you can't even move it because it's not domey at all. Alright, so that's the focus. The Banger GT is too overstable for me. I try not to put with hyzers, so the Banger GT is overstable. And it's flat profile at the top, just like the magnet, except, and it feels really good in the hand, except it's got this little bead, so therefore it's a little bit more overstable than the magnet. And that's why I didn't choose the Banger GT. I've also tried the Gateway's First Run Voodoos. These are actually very nice in terms of feel, but this is really rounded, and this rim right here doesn't curve. It doesn't curve in as much like the magnet, so therefore it feels very straight up at the rim right here. It feels almost like a birdie if you ever held a birdie. So these are really straight up. It doesn't curve all the way in, so it doesn't hook. I can't really hook my finger into it as well as the magnets, and that's why I didn't putt with these. These are also, they feel like a brick going towards the basket. They're not very soft feeling at all. I've also tried the Super Soft Wizard. This by far is the closest thing to a magnet. However, the profile, I mean, it's the closest thing. It has a little tiny bead, except it feels like a rubber brick. Okay? Because it feels like that, I don't know what materials they make it with. Because it feels like that, it doesn't have enough glide like the magnet does. So that's why I did not use this one. Alright? So those are my miscellaneous discs. This summer I'm going to try, I tried the Classic Judge last summer. The plastic is very kind of slick. It doesn't, to me it doesn't grab the chains as well, because the Pro D plastic just has a little bit more not chalkiness, but it's abrasive enough to catch the chains. This, however, doesn't feel like that. That's why I'm trying the Classic Blend, which is what the stack of blues right here. So this summer I'm trying the Classic Blend Judges. There's 4 of them here. And it's a little bit more, it feels the most similar to the Magnet Brand New. And it's made in a higher quality plastic, like I told you earlier. And that's why I'm going to try this one this year. So that's how this one feels. It's a little bit more stable than the magnet. I've put with this one. It definitely has a little bit more fade than the magnet. It requires a little bit more of a, for me, a little bit more putt on a hyzer to get it, or an anhyzer, and it will actually come back and fade into the basket compared to the magnet. So that's the Classic Blend Judges. Then these are the Challengers. I've always loved these for driving off the tee, and that's really what I use it mostly for. I bought the Z Challenger plastic to try out the stability of it. I've been using the Midnight Z, except it's beat in, so it's a little bit less stable now. So this one actually I use for approach. I don't rip it off the tee because it's just not stable enough. However, the Pro D Challenger, this old school one, is actually very stable. to rip off the tee. So I use this to rip off the tee a lot. Anywhere from 200 to 250 feet, I will rip this off if it's downhill. Otherwise, if I need a more control shot, then I use a buzz. But this one is really good for doing that. So I bought some more Pro D challengers. These are all brand new. They're like my extras pretty much. So that when this goes out, or if I lose it, I will have these. I want to try not to lose that because that's a really nice plastic, a nice disc. And this one is good for approach shots. I'm going to try and throw this off the tee this year. So that's how these feel. As far as the magnets, how I end up with the Pro D, there is a difference. The blue ones actually are soft magnets. These are dark blue ones, and this was actually sent to me by the online retailer that I bought it from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give these away. So anybody who's interested in soft magnets, I'm going to give these away. I'll do a separate video on that later. And how I came about with this disc is because the soft magnets, when in the summer, they get a little flimsy, and I used to putt with them, and they're right here, and they are just flimsy. And then in the summer, they're actually way more flimsy than this. And you can see the hard Pro D plastic I cannot bend at all. So that's why I stopped putting with the soft magnets, and that's why I have these Pro D ones now. The Z magnet, I got this for Christmas. What I'm going to do is try with this one in terms of approach, and I'll try to even throw it off the tee for more controlled wood shots with this one. So that's what I'm going to do with these discs. And then these are my old magnets that are now beat in, and now they are not going to be used anymore. The black one I've only used for putting the last 3 or 4 years, so I'm going to still use this for jump putts is what I'm going to use the black one for, but we'll see. And these are also kind of beaten in. They're actually kind of warped as well because I hit plenty of trees with them. So yeah, that's pretty much my putter talk. I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe, comment, and I will talk to you guys later. If you have any questions, let me know, okay? And I'll see you next time.